All right, today we're diving deep into Edgar Allan Poe's The Cask of Amontillado. Now, we all think we know this story. It's a classic tale of revenge, right? But we're going to investigate a different kind of horror, one that isn't born from madness, but from something much, much colder. Absolute certainty.
See, most people read this and think, okay, this guy Montresor is completely nuts. But what if that's the easy answer? What if the narrator isn't insane at all? Because a closer look suggests Poe was warning us about something far more disturbing.
Our whole investigation really starts with this core idea. The true terror in this story isn't chaos or a mind that's lost control. No, it's the quiet, unshakable confidence of someone who believes they are their own highest authority. And that, right there, that is our key to understanding Montresor.
Okay, let's jump right into the story's central mystery, the motive. Or maybe I should say, the lack of one.
This is absolutely critical. Montresor tells us he suffered 1,000 injuries and one final insult that pushed him over the edge. But he never actually says what Fortunato did. And that's not an oversight. Poe deliberately left this giant, gaping void right at the heart of the story.
So why all the secrecy? Well, the thinking is that Poe's silence is the whole point. By leaving the insult a mystery, he forces us to look past a specific event and focus on the psychology of grievance itself. The injury has become this internal obsession for Montresor, a resentment that just feeds on vagueness and grows larger and larger in his mind.
So when you boil it down, Fortunato isn't being punished for something he did. He's being punished for who he is. He's just a symbol for all the success and confidence that Montresor feels he lacks. That grievance isn't just a part of Montresor anymore. It has become his entire identity. So, with that in mind, let's move to our next clue. We're going to go inside the narrator's head.
Just think about how Montresor tells his story. It is so calm, so precise, there's no frantic energy, no sign of a guilty conscience. Which raises a huge question. Is he putting on a performance for us, or does he genuinely, 100%, believe he did the right thing?
The analysis here is that Montresor isn't looking for forgiveness. This isn't a confession. It's an act of self-confirmation. By reliving the murder in perfect detail, he's proving to himself all over again that his cold, hard logic is still perfectly sound.
And then Poe drops this bombshell detail. He's telling this story half a century after he did it, 50 years later. This one little fact tells us so much about his psychology.
So what does this delay really show us? It shows that time has brought zero remorse. Instead of guilt, you get a sense of pride. His memory of the event hasn't softened, it's hardened, it's calcified. The crime isn't some dark secret he's ashamed of. It's become a cornerstone of his identity, a testament to his unwavering logic.
All right, let's talk about how the crime was actually carried out, because with Montresor, the method is everything. This was not a messy, passionate murder. Oh no, this was a carefully choreographed performance.
I mean, just look at this breakdown. He uses the chaos of Carnival for cover. He fakes concern for Fortunato's health to lure him deeper, and notice how he constantly suggests turning back? He does that to create this twisted illusion that Fortunato is choosing his own fate. It's a ritual designed step by step to strip away his victim's free will.
So it's pretty clear this isn't just about killing Fortunato. It's about total humiliation. That jester costume is the final touch. It reduces his rival from a person to a foolish object. As the critic Harold Bloom pointed out, that reduction is Montresor's real victory.
So, to justify all this, at least in his own mind, Montresor leans on these old cultural codes and symbols of honor. Let's look at how he twists them to serve his own dark purpose.
You can see right here how Montresor just drains these symbols of their meaning. His family motto, which is supposed to be about public defense of honor, becomes a license for secret, unlimited revenge. And the trowel, a tool for building things, becomes his instrument for walling a man up alive.
So why don't these codes of honor stop him? Well, because for Montresor, they're just tools. He's replaced any kind of internal conscience with these hollowed-out rules, using the language of honor to justify an act that has none whatsoever.
And this brings us to the final, really unsettling verdict of our investigation, the true horror lurking in Poe's story.
We tend to be scared of the chaotic, raving madman, but Poe is warning us about something far more dangerous, the perfectly orderly, totally coherent mind that's operating without a conscience. Montresor isn't scary because he's confused. He's scary because he is so chillingly logically clear. And this brings us to this core idea, monstrous certainty. It's a state where your own logic is the only law, where justice is completely cut off from empathy, doubt, or mercy. This is what Montresor is. He's a kind of evil that doesn't need to shout, because it is calmly, completely convinced that it is right.
Now, Poe deliberately refuses to give us a neat ending. Montresor is never caught. He feels no remorse. And you have to ask why. The thinking is that Poe's goal wasn't to close the moral account. It was to open it up inside of us, the readers.
And this really shows us the story's final purpose. Since Montresor doesn't have a conscience, Poe hands that job to us. We're left to be the judge, because the story itself refuses to. The moral burden gets transferred directly to us. And so Poe leaves us with this haunting challenge. The crime is done, the logic is preserved, the wall is sealed. Montresor's certainty went unchallenged for 50 years. And the question the story leaves us with is a timeless one. When you're confronted with that kind of certainty, what will you do with it?